What's up guys, my name is Zero Heroes and welcome back to Men of Warsaw Squad news video. Now I haven't done a bit of a news video in a long time and that's just because Men of Warsaw Squad 2 hasn't released any news video until now. So today unfortunately I do have a bit of bad news situation for Men of Warsaw Squad 2. I'm going to try and make it as positive as possible, but also the aim of this news video is to give you every bit of information as possible on this piece of news of information, and then I have broken down in a Word document of what I think. I've put down some questions in a Word document to summarize, and then I'm going to discuss those questions with you guys, and then hopefully you guys can answer those questions down below in the comments. So if you guys do want more of these news videos, not the sad ones, but of course just any of these news videos, then make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new because you will get a shout out at the end of the video, and also I do actually have a subscriber shout out to do, so hopefully I won't forget. But without further ado, we are going to get into the news. So this was released on the June 19th, 2020. So how long was that ago? That was maybe a couple weeks ago. So this is the company who makes Men of Warsaw Squad 2. I follow them on Discord, of course, to catch up with any news, so I can tell it to you guys. And hint, you know, maybe some Russian campaign for Call to Arms, maybe? No, but okay. So it says, @at everyone. We are sad to inform you that we as developers will cease the official support for Men of War franchise. Yeah, I know, a bit sad, isn't it? We were unable to achieve the follow-up strategy that we feel is right for the series and our player base. Unfortunately, we also do not possess the right to make decisions on our own in regards of the franchise. So in that case, they're basically saying that they weren't able to really communicate well with the player base, and the player base didn't really give them, or the developers thought that the players, us, we didn't really give them an answer to help them continue on throughout the game, personally, in my opinion. Now again, I must reframe, or I must, you know, keep saying that this all that I'm saying is my personal opinion, so do not get offended when I say anything to do with, you know, if I say anything offended, remember this is my personal opinion. Of course you can say your personal opinion in the comments down below because I'd love to hear what you would say. Okay, moving on. Therefore, we have decided for the best for everyone to split our ways so that each party can follow their strategy and beliefs unhindered. I presume that means just go separate ways, which is fair enough. I completely understand that. We take our part of the responsibility and do not wish to blame anyone, but now it's time for us to move on. Completely understand that. I'm very glad they've kind of stated that, because if they've just said if they just left out we take part in the responsibility and do not wish to blame anyone, then I felt like they were mostly aiming at us, but because they've added that in, then I'm very glad they've kind of clarified that. So, and I completely understand that everybody wants to go their separate ways. I guess the developers didn't feel like, you know, much was going into Men of Warsaw Squad 2 anyways, and they just felt like they could have done better with other developers of games, which I'll move on to a minute. Also, just ignore my dog. With Call to Arms, we have always tried to build something next to Men of War series, which is very true, because the Call to Arms series is very, very popular, and especially on this channel as well. I absolutely love Call to Arms, and I really hope they keep working on Call to Arms. I really hope they don't giving up on it, because Call to Arms is such an amazing game, and to be honest, it is much better than Men of Warsaw Squad 2. But this is something I'm going to talk later about into the video. But now we wish to make this a home for everyone. We thank you for following us on this road with Men of War, and we are grateful for your support and experience we made. Hopefully you will continue to join us on this ride, and we can make what we feel is right together. With a great community, in the meantime, we have found new partners, and we are growing our studio to the next level, which is absolutely great to hear. This is what I love to see. Developers who have fallen can pick themselves back up and move on to a new to a new studio or a new area or a new partner, which is absolutely amazing. These are extremely exciting times and we're happy to share them with our community, which is absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future, because to be honest, when I first bought Men of War Assault Squad 2, I fell in love with the game. I loved the whole aspect of fighting with infantry, tanks, artillery. You can see the shots, you know, the firing with the tanks go by, you can see the ricochets, and if you add Rob's realism, it just makes it 10 times better. But this is why I'm also sad to see them go. But they said that furthermore, we have partnered up with the developers of Gates of Hell. Their work will be incorporated into our platform to support them with the best technology they can have to deliver you an exciting new experience in the World War II era. Now personally, I think this is a great idea. Gates of Hell is a game I've been waiting for a long time. Like literally, I can show you over here. I'll show you on Steam right now that I've actually got it on my Steam wish list. And the thing is, I think this is why Gates of Hell, you can see right here, Gates of Hell it says coming out soon, and this is why I think they've not released it yet, because they're waiting for the developers of Men of War Assault Squad 2 to cancel the game so they can join them and then they can make the game. But here are some photos. If you don't know what Gates of Hell is, here are some photos to basically give you an idea of what it's like. It's just showing tanks. It's very nice. I would say it's quite similar to Blitzkrieg, to Sudden Strike 4 or Company of Heroes 2, I should say. You can see some nice planes, KV-1s, Ferdinands or elephant tanks, Stushkas, and some background photos here. They haven't put much on, but I know that I do have a friend who I think is working he left Gates of Hell, but he was part of it. But I'm hoping that Gates of Hell is to be released sometime this year or next year, because I really hope, because I don't know, I feel like this could be the replacement of Men of War Assault Squad 2, but this is something I'm also going to discuss later. So it says, Gates of Hell will feature its own distinct gameplay and follow the roots of classic historical realistic RTS. Gates of Hell Ostfront will be available as a DLC for Call to Arms later this year. So they are bringing out a new DLC for Call to Arms for anyone who are asking. But please, we want that Russian campaign for Call to Arms. That's what we really want. Everybody wants it. You have released the German campaign. We really want the Russian campaign. Stop. You know, why are you bringing out DLC? I understand you're bringing out DLCs from another game, but bring out a campaign mainly for this game. What improves the game, what makes it better, what makes it more exciting. This is what we want to see in Call to Arms. But of course, this is not about Call to Arms. This is about Men of War Assault Squad 2. So there you go, guys. That is what the developers of Instinct have said, or I presume that's what they call themselves. That's what they have wrote for this. I know I'm very sad as well to hear about Men of War Assault Squad 2, but what I have now done, I've gone onto a Word document and I've actually summarised what questions I have for Men of War Assault Squad 2, or for the developers if they are watching this, and if you are, then I just like to say your game was amazing, but I do have a few questions for you, and I really hope you guys really do think about this. And you guys in the audience, if you could answer these questions, if you guys got answers for these questions, then please put them down in the comments down below. Or if you have a question for me about the game, or if you have a question for the developers, then put it in the comments, because it would be really good to engage with you guys and also with the developers as well. Okay, so I've put the title of The Fall of Men of War Assault Squad 2. I guess I should have named it something better, but this is the questions that I've summarised for my personal, again, these are personal questions I've put down. Again, you can completely disagree with them, that is completely okay. Again, these are just questions that I've come up to answer for you guys, and hopefully these are some of the main questions that are in the community of Men of War Assault Squad 2. Personally, me. Okay, so first main question I want to get out of the way is that, will we ever see Men of War Assault Squad 2 develop again in the future? Now this is a question that I feel like a lot of people would ask the developers, you know, will it come back? You know, will you come back to Men of War Assault Squad 2? But as you've clearly as they've clearly stated in the statement over here, the developers will cease the official support of Men of War's franchise. I don't think they're coming back from Men of War Assault Squad 2. I think that there's I think Men of Warsaw Squad 2 is just going to be, as it is, just people are just going to be releasing new mods, you know, which I really hope you do, because I feel like the mod makers are now the new developers. If your mod makers are listening out right now, if you can make missions for Men of Warsaw Squad 2, or even just I don't know if anybody can mod to make better graphics in the game, that would be awesome. But I feel like now the mod makers are the new developers, because it's just the developers have just given up. And of course, I don't mean to put that in a bad way, but I just feel like the developers must have thought that, you know, the mods are so much better than the stuff we make, and you know, it's best if we just leave it and let the mod makers take over and let them release a mod. So I don't know, I feel like that's kind of my personal opinion, but of course your personal opinion can change as well. Moving on to the second question, will Men of Warsaw Squad 2 be forgotten? That could be in the future. Yeah, to be honest, actually, no, I don't think it will be forgotten. Men of Warsaw Squad 2 is such a unique game. It is so good to play. It's so satisfying to play. It's an awesome game, and a lot of people forget about this game, because you see the big YouTubers who do love this game, like the Shermanator, he still plays Men of Warsaw Squad 2. Daily Gaming, he still plays Men of Warsaw Squad 2. Of course they use mods, but they still use Men of Warsaw Squad 2, and that's what I love about these big YouTubers. They don't forget about this game. They pride the game. They promote the game by saying how awesome it is. And I just spat all over my microphone. And that's what I love about these type of YouTubers, because they promote the game and they don't make it forgotten. And I don't feel like Men of Warsaw Squad 2 will ever be forgotten. I still upload it. The Shermanator is probably one of the most amazing people for doing Men of Warsaw Squad 2, and also Raptor as well. Daily Gaming, you know, Pershing as well. He's also he's actually a mod maker for Men of Warsaw Squad 2. He did, you know, tutorials in the editor. He's done a lot of really cool mods for Men of Warsaw Squad 2. So you see, to be honest, I don't think it will be forgotten, but of course that you guys in the comments can say differ if you want. Moving on to the next one. Will Men of Warsaw Squad 2 community die off? Again, kind of relating to Men of Warsaw Squad 2 itself, I don't think it will die off. I think there's a lot of people who still love this game and still appreciate this game. Again, coming from big YouTubers who bring in, you know, people who do love Men of Warsaw Squad 2, and they'll keep bringing the community, and those community will turn into mod makers hopefully, and those mod makers will promote Men of Warsaw Squad 2 with more mods, with more maps, with more whatever it is, DLCs, whatever it is. So will the community die off? No, I don't think so, not for a long time anyway. Moving on, will Gates of Hell be the new Men of Warsaw Squad 2? Because remember, they did say that Gates of Hell will, the developers of Men of Warsaw Squad 2 are partnered up with Gates of Hell, so that's why I've put that question there. Now, do I think will Gates of Hell be the new Men of Warsaw Squad 2? Not in a million years. I'm sorry, Gates of Hell may be the new kid around town in the school, and you got the old grandpa of Men of Warsaw Squad 2, but the old grandpa still got some pretty good skills up its sleeves, whereas the new kid is just a show off, you know. Personally, I think Gates of Hell could never replace Men of Warsaw Squad 2. You know, I play Men of Warsaw Squad 2 over Gates of Hell. I would, personally, that's my opinion. But because that Gates of Hell has been put on hold for so long, that's what puts me off the game. The fact that developers have gone out there saying, right, we're going to make a game and we're going to wait 2 years for Men of War developers to, you know, stop making the game so we can continue. I feel like that feels kind of lazy to me. I feel like, well, it's not lazy, of course they want help, but I felt like they could have maybe released maybe an alpha or a very early beta stage, so they can get feedback from the community of Gates of Hell, and then that means they'll get also the help from the developers from Men of Warsaw Squad 2. Again, personally, my opinion, but I just felt like Gates of Hell developers, you could have done a lot better. You can still do a lot better with the developers of, you know, the Men of Warsaw Squad 2 developers. But again, my personal opinion, again, it's just understand they're implementing new technology into it all, like they've said in their statement, but again, it's just my personal opinion. Moving on, we've only got a few more questions left. Will Medieval Assault Squad 2 still be fun to play? Of course it will. There's new mods, there's still new mods that come out all the time. I'd say new DLCs, but to be honest, the recent DLC has been absolutely crap, which is why one of the reasons why I think they've actually stopped making Medieval Assault Squad 2, but that comes later on the video. Could Medieval Assault Squad 2 done a lot better? Yes. Hell yes, it could have done a lot better. If Medieval Assault Squad developers listened to the community, because they said they have. They said they listened to the community, they've listened to us, but have you really? Because you released a DLC of the Cold War that nobody liked. I mean, it's got bad reviews on Steam, but you know what I mean. It's, it was... I wish they could have done a lot better with if they just kept themselves dedicated to the game, if they listened to the community. I'm sure they did, which is why Medieval Assault Squad 2 is so great, but I felt like later during during this year and last year, they kind of died off and they didn't really listen, and they kind of we're going to look for new partners and we're not going to do any updates. And when they made that one DLC update, we're just like, oh, we're going to make that one DLC and everybody will like it. To be honest, the Cold War is completely different setting to Medieval Assault Squad 2, the gameplay itself, which is why I think nobody liked it, because you can't start bringing in Cold War and then you bring in Cold War and then you bring in World War 2 and you put them together. It doesn't really work, because I understand that it's history and the game is based off kind of World War 2, but you're bringing a completely different new war which implicates no sense into Medieval Assault Squad 2, the gameplay of World War 2, so yeah, it could have done a lot better. Moving on, could have Medieval Assault Squad 2 DLCs been better? Yes, yes, and yes. Oh my god. The latest DLC, again, the Cold War one, could have been so much better. It didn't even have to be a Cold War DLC. It could have been a DLC of adding new tanks into the game, or even adding, a new mission, a completely new campaign of missions and tanks into the game, which the community have never seen before in the gameplay itself, which is why it could have been. I understand that, the Origins DLC was amazing, the rest of the DLCs were amazing. I just feel like the latest one, they just got quite lazy and they couldn't be bothered, which is why I'm really sad. Could Medieval Assault Squad 2 be more dated? Yes, and what I mean by dated is that the graphics could be updated so much. It is, if you look at the graphics in the games now, it is completely dead. It's literally a 2014, 2016 graphics. It is literally, if the developers were dedicated to this game, they could have made this game so much better, so much up to date, much more dated. They could have made the game a lot more popular than it already is if they kept updating it, better improvements to the game, twitches, bugs, all those little things that they do fix the bugs, but it's not often. It's like every like 3 months, even more, and it's just the graphics is just horrible. And I feel like they could have implemented the first person mode as well as Call to Arms, because Call to Arms has got the first person mode, so why can't Medieval Assault Squad 2? Just saying. Okay, moving on to the last two questions. Is it due to laziness, or is it just not properly connecting with the community / audience? So personally, I think it's not down to laziness, because they have done it really well in this game. They've listened to their audience, which is why I just think that in this year and last year, maybe 2018, they've just not listened to the community. They've just given up on their game, which I feel why they're not lazy, because they've done so much for this game and I appreciate it so much, so thank you. But I just feel like for the last couple of years, from 2020 to 2018, they just haven't been listening to the audience, which is why, or the community in Medieval Assault Squad 2, because nobody really asked for a Cold War DLC, because everybody hated it, so why'd you release it? I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me. And again, listening to the community and putting it in a common test server, and then the community trying it out, it might be a few bugs here and there, and you know, and they can give your feedback to you, to the developers, and you would have had a great response, and you would have had a great idea and fixed it and made it better. But you know, I understand why you did it. Okay, very last question. Are there any solutions we could bring back Men of Raw Assault Squad 2? Probably not. I highly doubt it, unless Men of Raw Assault Squad developers fall out with the developers of, or partnered up with the developers of Gates of Hell and they fall out, then they probably go back to Men of Raw Assault Squad 2. Or, but the thing is, they have Call to Arms, so they have no need to kind of go back to Men of Raw Assault Squad 2. They'll probably, the developers will mostly concentrate on Call to Arms instead of Men of Raw Assault Squad 2. So, is there a solution? No, not really. I think there's no solution, and I think that the game it'll keep going for a long time, but eventually it will die off. But I hope it never does, and I really do hope there is a solution to bring back Men of Raw Assault Squad 2, because it is an awesome game, and I feel like there's a lot more to be done in Men of Raw Assault Squad 2. Okay guys, so there we go. That is it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy this, sorry, very long video, but I just felt like I had to get it done, and when I heard the news, I thought, right, I need to make a video into it. So I'm sorry this is no action today, but I thought I'd bring back a bit of news, because I haven't done a news video in a long time, and also, you know, I wanted to get, you know, this done. So here, so I also do have a shout out, like I promised, as I said. Now a shout out to, where's his name? I think is it Eggy? Yeah, Eggy YT. Thank you for subscribing. Although it feels like you've subscribed this before. Have you unsubscribed? Have you unsubbed and then resubbed? If you are watching this, Eggy, then let me know, because I don't know if that's just a wee glitch there. But thank you for subscribing anyway, you know, and welcome to the channel. Hope you do enjoy the content, and of course leave a like and all that stuff. So there we go guys, that is it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. Leave a like if you do want to see more of these news videos, and comment down below what I've discussed all about. If you want to go back in the video, or is there specific things that you feel like I've missed out, or let me know in the comments. You know, is there any more questions that I could have put down, or do you feel like I'm completely wrong in what I said, or do you think you agree with me on some of the things that I said in today's video? So other than that guys, I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching and our support, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, and goodbye.